Hey y'all. I feel like they did not have to OD this thing like this, but that's okay. How are y'all doing? I need to go the other way. Running. And why do I feel like he is parked extra close? And he is, but the other thing is, I'm just tripping. Y'all know, y'all just had stuff happen and then it try to throw off your whole day. That's what just happened to me. So I'm kind of like borderline with an attitude, but not really, because I know it's not that serious. Y'all, this is a side note. I was already feeling a little flustered. Then I got so frustrated because I could not figure out how to change my dash. Like, bro, what? I know that sounds so dumb. I like for my dash to show me how many miles of gas I have. I mean, I don't care how many miles I got on the car. I like to know how many miles of gas that I have. And for some random reason, which I think I pressed something wrong, because I have a lot of digital things on here and buttons, and you know, foreign cars just do too much sometimes. I'm gonna just keep it a bean. They just do too much. So it changed out of nowhere, and I'm like, I honest to goodness I did not know how to put it back. So I just said, you know what, I don't even care. And I freaking just turned the car off, went into the store and came back. Y'all, when I turned the car on, hallelujah, the dash was back how I wanted it to be. But I'm just like, I'm like, I guess I should have Googled it. No, actually, I sent the whole video to my friend, and I was like, how do I change the dash back? They was like, I'm not sure either. I'm like, what kind of friend are you? Y'all ever do that? Just throw the whole friend away when they can't help you, innocently when they can't help you. So they were like, I'll try to Google it for you 1 second. I was like, oh, I guess I could do that too. But then I started the car, and the dash is back dashing. So we back. So that helped me, because that frustrated me. Like, I don't have time to be pressing buttons. You could put the truck in sports mode. Y'all, one time I was driving and the whole truck just shifted and started making this like woo-hoo, like a Ferrari noise. And I was like, what? And then the other day I just found out that, what's that called? The gear shift in my middle, it could go to the left and put the truck in something else. And I couldn't figure it out. So y'all, I had to park in the middle of the street. I was at a light, thank God. I parked, and then I put the car in park. I put the car in park, and then put it back in drive, child. And I guess it caught itself going back to what it was supposed to. I'm like, I didn't even know that the handle go to the left. It's just too much. I don't care. Put me in the car. I'm driving. I don't care about none of the other stuff. As crazy as that may sound, you know, that's just me. I don't get a car for all the bells and whistles and all of that. All I need to know is, can the car or the truck or whatever vehicle, does it drive, and does it have a rear facing camera? A rear facing camera, so I can back this joint up. Cause baby, I done got spoiled with that rear facing camera, which I think pretty much all cars have that now. So anyway, if the car just can't drive and it start doing a bunch of extra stuff, then when I be at stoplights, the car turn off, and then sometimes I get a little nervous because I forget it does that, and I'm like, did the car shut down? Like, y'all doing too much. My stress level too high. Trying to ride foreign and stress level high. You know what I'm saying? You know what? The car not doing too much. I'm doing too much. But anyways, that was a complete side note. There was a couple of things I wanted to kind of talk to you guys about, but ma'am, get a cross. You know what, Jennifer, calm down, because it is nobody else's fault that you having a few things pop up in the day that don't have nothing to do with it. Let that lady walk across the crosswalk like she's entitled. Because if that was you and somebody was trying to take the front of their car and act like they was rushing you, you would actually just stop and look at them like, are you kidding me? So Jennifer, don't do that to other people, because we reap what we sow. But anyway, I'm gonna park right here really quick so I can eat this bowl down a little bit, because they filled it up kind of high for you, girl. Oh, but I don't want to park right here and they think I'm being weird. But it's okay. I actually had a few things that I wanted to kind of say. But I don't even really like eating in my car for real. I've always been like that. I keep my car super clean. I've always keep any car that I've had super clean. Anyway, this is from Tropical Smoothie. It's an acai bowl. I didn't do the coconut because I don't like coconut. With honey drizzle and just a little bit of peanut butter. Just a little something. And I'm gonna apologize in advance for crunching in you all's ear, but it's whatever. So if you 5 minutes in, you finna hear me crunching, so click off the video right now. Let me put this right here. You know, what was I going to say? Number one, we just gonna talk. Sometimes I kind of have an opinion or a thought about something, but then sometimes I'm kind of just talking for my own self-care. You know, I was reading, I think it's First Chronicles, don't quote me, but when Paul was talking about I became all things to win some, and then he kind of goes into the dialogue of, when I was with the Jews, I became like a Jew. When I was with the poor, you know, I acted as the poor. When I was with the weak, I acted as the weak. And I was kind of like, y'all want some? Hold on. Yes, I put lip gloss on while I'm eating too, so don't argue with you. Don't argue with me, argue with your mama. But let me give y'all some of this. I hope y'all can even hear me, because I don't really know if my AirPod connected. Y'all want some? Let me get y'all some. Y'all want some with or without the peanut butter? Here. Because we shares over here. But when I was looking at that, and then he said something else further down, which really blessed me, or made me think. But when I was like, did he literally mean he just became like a Jew? And honestly, it don't matter if he literally meant that or not, because in that moment, you know what my interpretation said? It just kind of reminded me, especially because of what I do, it just kind of reminded me to always be in a place where not only do we position ourselves to understand other people. Understanding doesn't mean you have to agree. Long for more? Damn. Okay. Let me give y'all some more. Y'all said this granola slapping. Okay. Hold on, sweeties. Or sweetettes. Or dudettes. Y'all go. All right. We sharing. But it made me just realize that for me in particular, obviously when I'm counseling people and I'm dealing with people who are dealing with things, they are from all different types of backgrounds, cultures, obviously, ages, obviously. Their perception is different. It's not always a Christian. It's not always, you know, your typical where you could just premeditate or assume or prejudge, oh, I think this person is like this because of this, right? So in that, I was just like, well, obviously, if I'm talking to somebody that's going through DV, hypothetically, you know, obviously I'm not going to be in that situation. I'm not in the situation currently with them, so that I can't be like them. But there's a place in my mind where I can go to, where I can empathize and then provide sympathy. And then sometimes just meeting them where they're at, not always having an answer of like, get out the situation. Well, that's not always the answer. That's not always a doable answer. People can't just jump out of situations, because think about how many times you've dealt with something and you didn't just walk away the first time you saw a red flag or the first time something didn't go your way. Especially if you had a relationship with this person. And especially if you've had an established relationship with this person. You don't just walk away. We don't just walk away from people that's hurt us, from people that's damaged us. We don't. It's just the truth of the matter. And so when I was reading that, I'm like, man, you know how many times I have to talk to people and I just have to be in a place of understanding, not judgment. And a place of understanding doesn't mean provide them an answer. Again, give them a resolve, because it might not be doable. It could just mean, a place of understanding could mean listening. A place of understanding could mean not judging. You know somewhere? There I go. That one had a banana in it. A place of understanding could just mean letting them know that they're not alone. Y'all, when I be getting these smoothie bowls, sometimes they can miss me with the banana. I used to love bananas growing up, but now, I don't like that kind of chalky, gritty-ish, rough. I can't explain it. I don't like the texture of a banana. Y'all ever had that happen? Let me know in the comments. Hey, did you used to love something as a kid, but now you kind of like, I don't even like it no more? So sometimes I be forgetting to tell them no bananas and just hit me with the extra granola and the extra blueberry. And then that's on period. Or the extra strawberry. But I be forgetting. And then what happens is I fake give the banana a try, and I may do it throughout while I'm eating. And I just slowly remind myself like, this ain't for me, Doc. But anyway, you know, and I know that sometimes, I'm gonna give you two scenarios or two thoughts. It always seems easier for us to understand people we don't have a connection with, or there's no investment there, right? Or they haven't really hurt you or what have you. But we have to make sure we're applying that same energy, to other people and to ourselves. Sometimes you have to become all things to win yourself. Have you ever thought about that? Now, why do you keep circling the parking lot? Sometimes tropical smoothie, they need to break the granola up. But have you ever thought about becoming all things to win yourself? Because you know what? Everybody is not always going to be in a place to support you. I'm talking about your bestie. Think about who you are the closest to. They're not always going to be in a place to support you. You know how I know? Because you're not always in a place to support you. So sometimes we have to become all things to ourselves. Sometimes we have to become our own friend, our own confidant, as crazy as that may sound. Because we know we associate confidant in somebody you can speak to and share information with. Sometimes we have to become our own providers, our own lovers, meaning lovers of ourselves, meaning taking care of ourselves, sing about ourselves. Because somebody may not be able to recognize if you're having a bad day, if you're feeling down, if you need a hug. Sometimes we have to be our biggest supporters. You know? And I know it's not easy. Because everybody in the world, every human being wants a level of support. Every human being has been let down by somebody that's close to us. Because we wanted them to respond a certain way. respond at a certain time. And sometimes they just can't because they might be selfish. Or sometimes they're just not in a position to because they're dealing with things. And so then we have to sit and cope with that. And not allow our mind to tell us it's the end of the world. Not allow our minds to tell us we're not worthy, that we're not valued. And so another thing that I'm learning is when I read that I had to become all things to win some. You're not here to win everybody over. So another flip thought side of that is don't get stressed out because somebody didn't take your advice, because they went back to the person, or because they keep dealing with the same situation. It's okay. We've been there. I know it's take my mom's advice, my loved ones, my friends. It took me a while. Even though they could be on the outside, spelling it out for me as clear as day. Here I am still saying in my head, they right. But I still find myself in it. Or I still find myself dealing with it. Or I still find myself dealing with things that I have caused, or things that I am struggling with within myself. And so what I'm learning is to become all things to myself. Now that doesn't mean that my flesh is going to show up and perform. My flesh is going to let me down. My flesh is going to let myself down. So you know what I resorted to? God, in the times where I need something, show me if it's in me first. God, allow me to navigate it for myself first before I pick up that phone, send that text message. God, let me and you do this. Let me not rely on man first. Let me learn to depend on myself. Because if I learn to depend on me, I'm not dependent on my flesh. I'm dependent on the strength you've given me, which is in you. So yes, my flesh may say that I'm lonely, but I can become my own best friend. Now, obviously, in this particular video, we're not talking about be isolated, or we're not talking about, yeah, go be by yourself. You don't need nobody. We're not talking about that. I'm talking about ways to have a balance so that you're not so depending on people to the point where when they don't show up, you so broken that you can't even pick up the pieces. But what if God wants you to be your answer, meaning you and him? See, anytime I'm referring to us as an individual, I'm always talking from a perspective of this includes Christ. So if I'm lonely, I need to become my own best friend. If I'm sad, I need to find a way to cheer myself up and become my own comedian. If I need support, I need to find a way to support myself first. So become all things to win yourself over. And then become all things to win some. So then when it's time for you to win over the some, you won't feel hurt that somebody didn't take your advice. You won't feel hurt when a relationship has to end. Again, that's intimate or platonic. You won't feel hurt when God is calling you to one place and then other people are in another place. It doesn't make you better than, or it doesn't make them less than. But you'll realize, okay, they're not my sum in this season. Okay, God wants me to focus more over here, so that may change some dynamics in relationships. They're not your sum in this season. And that's okay. I know we see a lot of things on social media where we push the narrative, family is all you got and da-da-da. But sometimes family's not going to be your sum in a certain season. God may be saying, I'm not sending you for them. I'm not sending you for them. I'm sending you for those over there, those back there, those ahead of you. You just don't know. But be open So you're not telling God what to do. Make sure you're not in a place where God is following you, but you're following him. That's what I'm learning. I'm going to be all things to win me. You know why? Because if you're in a relationship or a marriage, and that person is sick, or a person loses their job, or they just having a rough week, a rough day, a rough month, they could barely be anything to you. And rightfully so. So we have to manage our expectations. What if they got an illness? What would you do? What if all of a sudden you guys were a dual household and provision? Now that person can't provide. So understand how you can be all things to yourself in God and with God will kill the division that the enemy will try to bring in. It'll help you be compassionate and say, what if the worlds will reverse? What if that was me? Now, side note, if you're in situations where you're becoming all things to all, you become all things to win all, you're in a dangerous place. Even with your spouse, even with your sister, even with anybody in your family. You can't be all to them all the time. Because what about, where's there room for God? Where's there room for yourself? So I understand why he said that. He didn't say, I became all things to win all. He said to win some. So what he was saying was, along my journey, you win some, you lose some. I just got to make sure I'm being what God calls me to be, when he calls me to be it, and how he calls me to be it. If you just sitting back and you only dependent on your spouse, and you guys are not working together to have some sort of a nest egg in case anything was to happen, y'all need to talk. If you guys are not taking time for yourselves as individuals and as collectives, y'all need to talk. If you guys are not supporting one another and pushing one another, and it may look different at different times, you guys need to talk. And you need to be clear about it. Hey, baby, who dream we supporting right now? Have a healthy conversation about who's going to sacrifice right now. Who's going to step up right now? Who's going to do a little bit more right now? These should be ongoing conversations. You shouldn't just get into a habit to where you doing things so much you're not assessing. Hey, baby, checking in with you. How you feel about your career? How you feel about your job? How you feel about, pardon me, y'all, this bag gonna be kind of loud. How you feel about where you at? You good? You want to do something different? You feeling shortchanged? Hey, where are you at with my level of support for you? These should be things that y'all should be talking about with, again, whether it's a spouse or whether it's a friend or a family member. And I'm going to be honest and transparent. I wish my family did that with me. Ask me how I'm doing. Ask me how my career is going. Ask me, you know, is there anything that they can help me with? That we don't say that kind of stuff to each other. When you first have your friend, when you first get that new boo, yeah. But I want to be checking in with my friends. Hey, how you doing? Hey, where you at? Hey, is there anything I can do? Hey, is there anything I did? Hey, is this my season to win the sum? Or, hey, friend, this is not my season to win the sum, but I'm willing to do X, Y, Z, or bear with me because I'm kind of taking a bit of a break as the Lord has instructed me. Not personal. Love you to death. And then they should be able to say, friend, I understand. And they also could be able to articulate, hey, but wait, before you take that break, I need you. I need you can you just spare me about 2-3 more days? You know, just communicate. You shouldn't assume because your spouse has been at their job and have expressed that they liked it, but they're always happy at work. Oh, no. You shouldn't assume that. You shouldn't assume that because they may have gotten a new job or because they're willing to start off on a new venture, that they're not nervous, that they don't have any fears, that they don't have any worries. It's because you make more money doesn't mean you still don't get nervous about it. I gave you guys that example before. You could bring a baby in the world and still be scared. As exciting as it is, it's still nerve-wracking. It's still scary. So be having those conversations. And also, make sure you're having conversations with your loved ones or your accountability partner, if you will, and say, hey, this is the season where I'm really trying to focus on me. So if you could just do me a little favor, send me a text. Heck, send me a tweet, DM me, whatever. And just check in and say, hey, are you becoming all things for yourself? Hey, I know you told me a couple of goals. If you feel comfortable sharing the goals, which I hope you would, with somebody that you trust and feel secure with. And you say, hey, I want to just check in with you. I'm going to be checking in. Whatever y'all come up with, once a week, every 2 weeks, whatever. Become all things for yourself in Christ. Because everybody's not going to be able to show up for you as much as you desire them to. Because you can't even show up for yourself as much as you desire to. And see, when we start thinking of things that way, that's when we become a little bit more patient. That's when we have a little bit more grace towards one another. A little bit more patience with one another. And again, if you're in a situation where that's kind of not happening, it's okay to take a healthy reassessment and to assess, what is this relationship really about? What is the purpose? What is my purpose? What are my goals? In so many words, you know how people be like, okay, so what are we doing? Do you know? What are y'all doing? Y'all been together for so long that the balance is only, well, we here to just pay these bills. Okay, then what? You guys have goals together? You guys have goals as individuals? Because what are we doing? You know, I'm realizing time be going. You start to get older. And even if you're not at that place where you're starting to get older, you know what? You can catch it before you wait until it's too old or too late like me, and you're starting to put these things in place. You can catch it right now. Y'all, I shop too much, and I'm very aware of that. So anyways, because I just felt myself judging myself, as I should. So, you know, don't wait to start putting stuff in place. Start to put these things in place now, so you're not 30, 40, 50 trying to put things in place. Y'all, I hate these Berkshire sandals sometimes because it's like, child, is the sandals supposed to be sandals or is the sandals supposed to be like brooms? Like, why are you picking up everything across the floor? Who's doing that? So don't wait till the last minute. Get ahead of it now. And if you're in it right now, then you know what? Make sure you're staying ahead of these things or start right now. I hate wearing these out. Because we're all going through a process. And sometimes we're all going to get it. Sometimes we're going to miss it. But one thing I love about God is He always allows us to come back around. That's one thing that I love about Him. He always allows us to come back around. I love y'all. we will. Y'all already know. Talk soon.